Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel with girl Becky. It's readings by Circe, and I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. And we are here on day 19. Can you guys believe it? Like, seriously, in 2 days we'll be 3 weeks in, full 3 weeks in, and tomorrow we're 2/3 of the way through. It's going, guys. I know it maybe has not gone as fast as everybody would have liked it to, but it is going, and the time is going to pass anyway. So you guys are here doing something with that time, and that is what matters. Such an impressive, amazing, wondrous thing. So cool. All right, let's get into it. We're still working with yoga and mudras this week, and today was a little challenging for myself too, because while there are a lot of mudras that help with the throat chakra, I like to get mudras that have a lot more information based on them, and I was struggling to research in my books and what I have at my disposal to find the information. So today's a little bit different for the mudras. I still got you guys one, but it does not have as much information on it as some of the other ones do. So, and I couldn't change that, guys. I really wanted to get you guys some with history on it, some that had maybe a mythological tale that went with it, you know, whatever it is that they have that it backs them up, but we'll make do with what we got, okay? So we got a lot to cover today, and we'll get into it. If this journey is resonating with you guys, hit that thumbs up button down below. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you guys are feeling during this journey. Let others know that they're not alone. You know, I know you guys aren't alone. I'm doing it with you, and I know it's getting kind of like, is it over yet? But I promise you guys, it will be so worth it. I'm feeling a lot better from last week. In fact, after that first time that I did it, after the first week that I struggled, the rest of the challenge just seemed simple compared to that struggle at the beginning. So I hope you guys feel the same. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. These videos will drop every day at 2 p.m. all the way until October 30th, which is our last day. So it is coming, guys. I know we're barely starting the month. Or what is it? We're barely halfway through the month. So we're thinking about the 30th. And so, oh my goodness, that's crazy. All right, guys. So let's get into it. Yoga poses for the throat chakra. And again, some of these may be repetitive poses, but understanding that yoga poses are a full body alignment. And so you have one pose that could touch on each aspect of the chakras, okay? So you have pyramid pose, shoulder stand, fish pose, supported fish pose, lion's breath, cobra pose, puppy pose, wild thing, and of course the basic neck stretches, right? So today we're actually going to talk about a really hard one. We talked about a really hard pose yesterday, so I'm going to talk about another really hard pose today, because it is one that when you're on this practice, it's good to strive for these difficult poses, not to hit them in the first week, not to even hit them in the first couple of years, okay? But to continue to build on them, because one day you're going to get into it and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I couldn't get into that when I started, and here I am. That's what's so amazing about the yoga journey, is that if you allow yourself to really be present each day, you get to see and observe how much further you are each day. So we're going to go into half shoulder stand, and I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but I will try to get it right. Here we have, and that's Ardha Sarvangasana, okay, Sarvangasana. Ardha Sarvangasana, which is half shoulder stand. And understanding that shoulder stand is a classic inversion that's usually done at the end of practice to induce relaxation and to bring us down into a calm state, right? It helps to lower the blood pressure by this really weird situation where it spikes the blood pressure, and then your body starts to react, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta do this. So, and I'm gonna explain that a little bit further as we go. It helps to lower your blood pressure. It activates the rest, digestive, and rejuvenation part of the nervous system. It gently strengthens the muscle at the front of the neck while stretching the back neck muscles and the upper back, okay? The core is engaged with the thighs to stabilize you and hold your body in this inverted position. So let's talk a little bit about the muscles that you're going to be using in this pose. And this is another full body workout, okay? It's not really focused on the core, which I always find surprising because of you having this inversion. But that's more on shoulder stand. Or, sorry, not shoulder stand. That's more on headstand. So you have your lower legs. We have the plantar flexion, right, with the feet. And the calf muscles are actually engaged to allow your dorsiflexors to stretch here. And this is particularly the tibialis anterior, okay? Tibialis, my apologies. It's the tibialis anterior muscles. And reversing this movement with the heels stretching, so you have your foot flexed like straight like this, and then when you guys reverse this movement and you push your heel up towards the ceiling, this switches the stretch into the calf muscles instead of them being engaged, okay? With your thighs, you have the quadriceps are activated while extending the knees. And the hamstrings and the gluteus maximus stabilize the thighs in this lengthening position, right? The adductors engage and the hip flexors engage to stabilize the hips. You have your neck and your torso. We've got the cervical flexors are engaged, right? And you get a lot of engagement in the back here. But you do not want to put weight, and we'll get more into this too, but you do not want to put weight on your neck. This is shoulder stand. The weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck, okay? It's for the throat chakra, which is around the neck, but it's all about putting the weight on your shoulders, okay? So let's see here. The cervical flexors are engaged while the cervical extensors stretch. You have the trapezius, the serratus anterior, and the pectoralis major, which are also stretching. The spinal extensors are mainly stretching with a slight engagement, lifting your body up from the ground, right? So you have your arms. We've got the posterior deltoids, the latimus dorsi, and the teres major muscles engaged in the opening of the shoulders as they press back into the ground to support you. You have the brachialis, the biceps brachii, and the brachioradialis muscles, which are engaged when flexing the elbow, because you're putting your hands on the low of your back with your elbows flexed, and so you're pushing yourself up with this motion here, and it's this motion that's engaging those muscles along the side here, okay? And also because you're because you're pushing up against your back, the wrist flexors are engaged, okay? And that's just to stabilize and hold the hips. Now, with your alignment, it's while you're flexing the hips, more of the weight is actually put on the hands, which becomes your support system, and it takes that weight off of the upper body. Remember, it's shoulder stand, not neck stand, okay? This is so important to remember in this pose. And I have some variations that I'm going to go over with you guys here, and I will include pictures of these on the video as well. But understanding that even in the variations, this is shoulder stand, not neck stand, okay? Listen to your body and avoid anything that's causing pain or intense pressure in the neck. This is a very sensitive area. If there are two areas in yoga that are super sensitive, we're talking about the neck and the knees. Those are two things you guys do not mess with, okay? We don't overextend ourselves when it comes to our knees or our neck. These are very sensitive areas on the body, and it is our job to really take care, right? Take care of that part of your body, because your knees are how you walk and your neck holds your head. And if your neck is out of whack, everything else just doesn't feel good, okay? Same with your knees. It's hard to walk and everything else gets out of whack. It affects your hips, it affects your back, it affects your arms, your shoulders, right? So just take care when it comes to your knees and your neck. And also, just a good place to insert this, as you've all heard along the journey, I am not here to replace your primary care physician. I'm just giving you guys information. If you choose to research this or use the methods that are presented here, understanding that it is at your own risk. You know your body. I do not know your body. Make sure you guys listen to what is being signaled to you while you guys are practicing, if you choose to do so, okay? So our first variation is supported half shoulder stand. This is where you're going to bring the mat up close to the wall, okay? And you have a towel near the top of the mat. You're going to lie down with your shoulders just before the top edge of the blanket, not the neck. You want your neck and your head to be off of the blanket, okay? And let's see, because your head and neck are not on the blanket, this leaves space allowing the curve of the cervical spine, right, to be intact. Bend the knees and you place the soles of the feet on the wall and the back of the, and you press your feet against the walls, you line your knees over your hips, and you want the thighs to be parallel to the wall, okay? Draw your shoulder blades back and down, okay? And bend your elbows to place your palms on your pelvis if this is something you're capable of doing, okay? We're not trying to kick up into any kind of pose here, okay? The thing about yoga is you guys want to take your time. You want to move slowly, and it is all about controlled movements. It is not about, I'm going to kick myself up into it so I'm in this pose and I look fancy. No, because you guys can really throw yourself out of alignment and you can really do some injuries and damage to yourself in doing that. So everything you do, it has to be about slow and controlled. If you guys are not able to get into the pose in a slow and controlled way, then that means you need to practice one of the softer variations, okay? And that's okay. It's not about making this pretty pose. It's about being able to stay connected to our breath so we can thus stay present in our bodies, okay? Now you've got your shoulder blades back. You bend your elbows to place your palms on the back of your pelvis. And if you feel comfortable and strong and supported here, you can try extending one or both legs away from the wall, okay? And just practice with what feels good. The next one is supported legs up the wall, or what we've known in yin yoga as waterfall. This is also a great pose to help if you have a sore lower back. This is something that I have used for when my back is just like, wow, like I hate you today. I can't do nothing. Like, what did you do to me? If I have a really crazy practice the day before, sometimes my back will act up the next day. And just asking me to slow down a little bit. You know, we're in a marathon, right? This is not a sprint. We're in a marathon, and that's what life is. We have to remember it's a marathon. We're not trying to sprint to some end result here. We're trying to build up a consistent practice with everything that we do. So with supported waterfall, if you guys have a block, if you guys don't have a block, a bolster can be good, or I would suggest using books that would, be similar to the height of a yoga block. Or just go to Walmart and get a yoga block, guys. They're not very expensive there, and it will do the job. I have yoga blocks from Walmart, and they were $5 for two of them, and they work really good. Now, if you guys want to get fancier than that, you guys can get whatever works for you. But okay, this really, to me, I feel like it works the best with a block. You can use a bolster, but it's still kind of soft, and it gives, and you just kind of want that support while you're doing this, okay? So you're going to bring a block to the pelvis right at the sacrum, and this is the flat part of your back, right? So when you put the block in, your butt cheeks are going to hang off just a little bit, right? You're not putting it in the small of your back because that will actually hurt you. You guys can hurt your lower back doing that. And so I suggest you guys just play around with it, right? You're going to push up into bridge pose so that you can bring the block underneath you and, get it situated. And again, as you guys are practicing this is just a suggestion, but personally, I would find somebody that has a tutorial online to really show you guys how to do this. I'm just giving you guys options and variations, knowing that if you want the benefits from this pose itself, there are variations that you do not have to get up into a full extended version of shoulder stand, which I'm not able to do yet. I still do waterfall. I'm at the very bottom, guys. I'm proud and loud about it. I am not yet in a place where I can support my weight with my hands. I'm not that strong just yet. I'm still building strength to do so, right? And it's just a process. I'm not mad about it. Yes, I've been on this journey for 4 years, but I'm glad to where I am. I'm so much further than I was when I first started, and that's the only thing that matters to me is, am I better than I was yesterday? I'm not perfect, but am I better than I was yesterday, right? And that's really just one thing that you have to remember on this, okay? Now, once you play around with the placement and you get it comfortable, right? You're going to bring your knees into your chest with Apanasa. And you guys are slowly going to lift them one at a time up. And you guys can do this next to a wall. If you want to put your feet up against the wall, if you don't have a block, you can put your feet up to the wall. You won't be lifted. The point of getting into the throat chakra is just for everything to be lifted, so blood is coming to the throat chakra. But you will gain some benefits of just putting your legs up against the wall too, okay? And then you're also going to draw your shoulders up and back, and then put your hands down to either side of the block. And we'll just start there, okay? So those are the variations that they have. Now, shoulder stand is effective at encouraging drainage of the lymphatic system and improving your overall circulation. This is actually a really interesting pose. I didn't realize that it had so many options for healing and helping us, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind is we know that the throat chakra is connected to the thyroid. This actually doesn't physically stimulate the thyroid, yet it can stimulate the baroreceptors to lower your blood pressure, which we talked about in the beginning. So we're going to talk about lymphatic drainage. The lymph vessels rely on the movement of the body in order to pump lymphatic fluid throughout the body. So it's always good to have some sort of regimen where you guys are moving, getting up, doing more than just a sedentary life, okay? They have a one-way valve. Okay, they don't go both ways. And that's to prevent backward flow. Inverting encourages these valves to open, which helps to alleviate or prevent edema in the ankles. And if you guys don't know what edema is, that's fluid retention around the ankles. I'm sure everybody has met somebody who has this. My mom used to suffer from this. My grandma did too. And so I don't know if it's hereditary, but it is something that I practice regularly because I personally do not want to deal with that, because I saw how much pain they were in just with the swelling around the ankles. If you guys have been pregnant, I'm sure you guys know what this is, right? That swelling around the ankles. This is something that can help alleviate that, okay? And if you guys are pregnant on this journey and you want to heal from this, it would not be a bad idea to go and find yoga classes that are for pregnant women. They have those, okay? You can find people who will teach you while you're pregnant. There are different set of poses that you'll go through, but you guys will still get the benefits from it, and you can still touch on this whole system as you practice, okay? Now Venus, let's see here. Oh yeah, my bad. The baroreceptors, okay? In an inversion, the blood pressure initially goes up. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning. I said we're going to get a little bit further into. Okay? It initially goes up. And this sends signals to the brain where it's like, well, hold on, I got to fix this, right? And so all of a sudden it will set in motion a series of events that will lower your blood pressure to remain and maintain homeostasis. This drop may be enhanced by the pressure placed on the carotid. I can say this, guys. I promise you I can. It's just not coming out right now. The carotid, okay? Carotid baroreceptors in neck flexion, okay? The carotid artery. I think it's on this side. It's one of the sides. Anyways, guys. Regular practice of inversions has the potential to lower your blood pressure over time, right? Like you're changing the physiology of your body in yoga. Like you're changing the way your body responds, just like we're trying to change our mindset to the way it responds to things here on this journey. Now you're changing the way your body responds to activities and doing certain things and getting in certain positions, okay? We have venous blood flow. Veins do not have muscular walls that transport blood around the body. And that's like arteries do. Arteries have those muscles. But veins don't, okay? It's like the lymphatic system. They only have a one-way exit, guys. Like they got a one-way valve, and that prevents the backward flow. And they help carry deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Inversions allow gravity to open those valves for you and encourages venous flow to the heart and helping your circulation. And then thyroid stimulation. We're going to talk about why it doesn't stimulate the thyroid just a little bit here. Yogis do claim that the pose stimulates and regulates the thyroid gland. Okay, spiritually, that could very well be true, because when we think about things, oftentimes that thing will happen, right? Like the same with manifestation. So I'm not against that. I'm not against that this could help with the thyroid gland. However, there is not any scientific evidence that backs this up, right? So I want to bring in every aspect of it. The thyroid gland is like the digestive tract, which doesn't function through mechanical pressure and movement. It is possible, though, that the increased blood flow may affect the thyroid's function, which I'm sure that is with anything, right? The more blood that you have, the more ability that it is to work and be at its full functioning, right? Like circulation, that's just an important part of our bodily processes. Like breath, it's just something that we need, right? Without them, we would not survive. Okay, so we're going to move on to the mudra. And the mudra today is called the Udana Vayu Mudra, and this is how you do it. Lama Lama, okay? Put your first 3 fingers down on your thumb, pinky up. Let's drink our tea, guys. Yeah, all right. So, and this is how you do it. And then you would rest your hands on your thighs, okay? So you're going to put your fingers like this, and then rest your hands on your thighs, okay? Now, this is directly for the throat chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, okay? This is a mudra that helps enhance the upward movement of prana into from the throat and the chest and the throat region, right? It's going to bring that prana up. And prana, we know, is breath and vitality, that life movement, right? It is associated with the Vishuddha chakra and ether and space, okay? The Udana maintains proper functioning of the organs and glands in the upper chest and the throat region. And one thing I did want to put in here is that this mudra will help you guys unleash the Kundalini energy up into the third eye. So if you guys have blockages of Kundalini, and Kundalini can take years and years and years to activate. So don't be like, oh, I have to do this so that, no, it's good to know this, okay? This is meant to help with the blockages there so that when your Kundalini does rise, if it does in this lifetime, because there are some people who it will not, and don't be tripping if you're not one of those people. It's just a process, right? It takes sometimes lifetimes for us to tap into our Kundalini energy, and that's just the way that it is. However, once it does rise and you have a blockage here, we're going to try and unblock the throat chakra so that that can come up to our third eye, which essentially gives us that innate knowing and like untapped potential to our intuition. Okay, so Udana governs speech, self-expression, swallowing, our metabolism, the thyroid gland, and the parathyroid gland. It uses specific finger combinations that alter the flow of prana to treat imbalances in the upper chest. And some of you guys may be wondering, why is that? If any of you guys are familiar with reflexology, every point on our body is attached to some other part of our body. You know, like your toes are connected to your head and your heart and your lungs and your ears and your eyes. And I actually don't have my reflexology book out. I could not find it. I think it's buried down underneath somewhere, so that'll be for another time. But if you guys are familiar with it, or you guys can look it up too, these particular fingers, all of our fingers, the tips of our fingers, the middle part of our fingers, the bottom part of our fingers, the hands, every area of the hands, everything on us is connected to something else in our body. And so you guys might be wondering, well, how does that work? Well, that's how it works. It's because it's a part of reflexology, okay? And so this combination of the fingers and all of this, the pressure that you're having, I mean, you're not like squeezing, but this touch, it's enough to activate those centers in the body, okay? Now, one thing is that you guys could be dealing with, if the Vishuddha chakra is off, we went over that, but it's just to retouch on that. Breathing problems, inability to focus, inability to communicate or express oneself, you have throat issues, intellect disability, feeling dejected, meaningless, or low self-esteem, okay? Now, benefits of this mudra are, it improves prana flow, we talked about that. It enhances memory, creativity, mental clarity, and this is all with long-term use. So don't expect this to happen in one night, right? This is like, as you guys continue to practice with these mudras, like that is essential. We can't expect one thing to happen for us in one session, right? And that's why this is a 30-day journey. It's more than a 7-day journey, because in 30 days we're touching with each chakra at least 4 times. Okay, and within that, you guys are going to experience some sort of change, right? Why? Because we're not just touching on it one time and hoping that that's going to change. It's not. This is something you guys can continue to come back to. But remembering to take notes throughout this so that you guys can continue these tools and practices on your own as you go through this journey. Okay? It has a positive influence on the vocal cords and the throat glands. It is beneficial for singers, and it may alleviate respiratory problems. It's used in Ayurveda to improve your thyroid and your parathyroid functions, okay? It helps you focus, and it helps with spiritual growth. It is a balancing mudra, and it helps clearing blockage. It helps in clearing the blockages of the throat chakra. Okay? Awesome. I thought it was a lot longer than that because of the variations part, but no, it went perfect, guys. So let's get into your question for this week. Okay, we're on the 3rd week. I can't believe we're already on the 3rd week, guys. So awesome. Okay, so your journal question I want you guys to focus on is, do you feel connected to your life's purpose? Do you know why you hide or why you express this purpose? And what comes to your mind when you think about your purpose, okay? Have your journals ready, guys. I have mine ready here. Okay. All right. So, and then noting this too in your journal. Make sure you guys, if you're interested in doing the yoga, right, we are healing with yoga this week, so it would be good to touch on yoga this week. I've got those 10-minute practices on my channel in a playlist. They're all set for you guys, easy for you to access. And your meditation, you can use the same meditation that you've been using this entire time. That is perfectly okay. But to meditate using the Udana Vayu Mudra. Okay, and we're just going to basically, you remember when you used to do the Lama? Well, our Lama now only has one ear, right? Okay, or you guys drinking your tea. Think about drinking your tea. Put your fingers together and drink your tea with your pinkies up, okay? And practice with that. And the affirmation I want you guys to work with today is, it is safe for me to express my creativity. It is safe for me to express my creativity. Okay? Awesome. That is what I have for you guys today. Day 19. You've made it. If you guys are interested in my tarot reading, that will drop with this video as well. It is not a requirement. It is just for those of you guys that are interested in the tarot part of things. Also, I do release a pick a card reading every other Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else, guys? I'm just trying to think. If this is resonating with you, hit that thumbs up button. You're more than welcome to leave a comment down below. Let me know how your journey is going. Let everyone else know too. We're not alone. None of us are alone. We're all here together. There is somebody on this journey with you at this moment. And I think that brings peace. And even if they're not with you in this exact moment, they're going to be with you there later today or another day. It's okay. We're all on this together. Okay? Awesome. Hit that notification bell so you always get notified when my next video does go live. I will release every video on my channel at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is just for your guys' convenience and for ease of mind, okay? Perfect. I am going to leave it here. I'm so honored to be here sharing this with you guys, and I'm so blessed. We're making our way right on through. I'm so proud of you guys, and I will for sure be back and see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye, guys.